I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Matt Duchesne of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Justus Aros of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Ryan Johansson of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. And before we get started on the no half-step in hockey coverage, let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you'll learn everything you need to know about the show. And once you're done getting educated, you can click on that merchandise tab. And that's where you're going to find our classic logo t-shirt, our Pride logo t-shirt, and so many other t-shirts, but also all of the classic gimmicks you've come to know and love from the Renegades of Puck. Socks, wall arts, throw pillow. You can outfit your entire home and your entire body at the same time by picking up some Renegades of Puck merchandise. Stick taps to everybody who has. We sure do appreciate that support. All profit goes directly to the Renegades of Puck. Social media is of critical importance that you help us out right there, and you can do so by taking just a second of your time and not spending any of your money at all. Give us a follow, give us a like, give us a subscription, or leave a comment, share a link. It all goes the same to help us out. You can do that on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find the video podcast on YouTube. You can find our live stream on Twitch, and you can find the audio version of the podcast on a myriad of different platforms like Stitcher, like Spotify, Google, and so many others. Please give us some support by giving us a follow and giving us a like on any or all of our social media platforms. Venmo is the easiest way you can go about becoming a partner of the show or making a donation to the show, and we sure would appreciate anything that you can spare going into the new year. Just search Renegades of Puck or scan the QR code that's currently on your screen. Thanks to generous Renegades like you, 2022 turned out to be an incredible year, helping us upgrade significantly our technology, our look here in the bunker, and so much more that's going on behind the scenes. We cannot wait to start sharing more of those plans with you. Stick taps, love and respect to each of you who's taken the time or sent $1. Now it's time for me to deliver the no half-step in hockey coverage, so let's get to the goods. It's operation number 688 for the Renegades of Puck. That's right, show number 688 over 11 plus years. And at this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in 6th place in the Central Division. 28 games played. The record of 12-12-4 is even at 500. 28 points, though, has them 1 point behind 5th place St. Louis, 4 points behind their next opponent, the Colorado Avalanche, 6 points behind 3rd place Minnesota, 11 points out of 2nd, and that would be the Winnipeg Jets, and 13 points behind the Dallas Stars for 1st place overall in the Central Division. Now, the Nashville Predators sliding into the bottom 3 currently find themselves only 6 points ahead of the Arizona Coyotes and 10 points ahead of the Chicago Blackhawks. On the road, the Nashville Predators have a record of 5-7-2. They've only scored 71 goals on the season. They've given up 87. They have a goal differential of -16. Now, for the Colorado Avalanche, they have a record of 15-11-2, 32 points. Again, 4 points ahead of the Nashville Predators, 4th place in the Central Division. A home record of 6-5-2, 87 goals scored on the season, 80 goals against, a +7 goal differential. Not quite the dynamic offense that the Colorado Avalanche featured last season, but still lethal in virtually any moment. Now, for the Nashville Predators, they've lost 5 straight, only picking up 2 out of a possible 10 points in those 5 games. And frankly, they are sliding in the standings and sliding into trouble here before it's even Christmas. For the Nashville Predators, once they wrap up this game in Colorado, they will be back home for a 1-game homestand against the Edmonton Oilers, and oh boy, that looks like it's going to be a good time for the home crowd. After that, the Preds will be in Chicago on Wednesday, and then going into the Christmas break on the 23rd, facing off against the same Colorado Avalanche team at Bridgestone Arena. Coming up on December the 27th, the Nashville Predators after Christmas will face off against the Dallas Stars for the first time since that early season back-to-back. And then on December the 30th, the Nashville Predators will take on the Anaheim Ducks in Anaheim. Taking a look at the season series between these two teams, they've met 1 time before. They'll meet 2 times after this. The previous meeting took place on November 10th. The Nashville Predators lost to Colorado Avalanche 5-3 in Denver. Rantanen with 2 goals and assists for 3 points led the team in scoring in that game. O'Connor had 2 goals. McKinnon had 2 assists. Lankinen for the Nashville Predators took the loss, going 30 out of 35. These two teams will meet again before the end of the month, 12/23 here in Nashville. And then the last game of the season for the Nashville Predators is a makeup game that will take place on April the 14th versus the Colorado Avalanche at Bridgestone Arena. Of course, that is a makeup game from when the water main broke and they had to cancel or postpone that game for the brief time. The injuries for the Nashville Predators are definitely an issue. Luzon, McDonough, Carey, Borowiecki all out of the lineup. I put them in the order that they could and should be returning to action. Luzon could be back any game now. McDonough could be just after the beginning of the new calendar year. Alex Carey, we do not know a time frame on him. Neither do we on Mark Borowiecki. But injuries on the defense corps, definitely a problem for this Nashville Predators team right now. Taking a look at the Colorado Avalanche and their most recent stretch of play, we'll go back just 5 games. It was December the 7th, and they scored a 4-0 loss versus the Boston Bruins. On the 9th, it was a 2-1 shootout loss versus the New York Rangers. On the 11th, a 3-2 overtime win at St. Louis. On the 13th of December, it was a 3-2 win versus Philadelphia. And on the 15th, their most recent game was a 4-2 loss versus the Buffalo Sabres. Taking a look at the rankings between these two teams, and you may be surprised the Nashville Predators are actually competitive in some of these statistical metrics against Colorado. And we all know last year, these teams were not close in virtually anything. Goals for the Nashville Predators, 2.46 per game is putrid. It's 29th in the NHL, but you might be surprised to know that there are only 9 spots behind the Colorado Avalanche. The Avalanche offense generating 3.04 goals per game is 20th in the NHL, not as high-powered as it has been in the last couple of years. Goals against, the Colorado Avalanche are giving up 2.82 per game. That is 10th in the NHL. The Nashville Predators are giving up 3.07. That is 17th in the NHL. Shots on goal. Now Colorado is generating 32.7 shots on net per game. That is 8th best in the NHL, while the Preds are only generating 29.9 shots per game. That is 24th best in the NHL. In the shots against category, Colorado gives up 32.5 against per game on their own net. That's 21st best in the NHL, while the Preds are 27th in this category, giving up 33.2. Now, when it comes to special teams, the power play for the Colorado Avalanche is still, of course, a highly skilled and highly superb unit. 4th overall in the NHL, 27 conversions on 98 opportunities, 27.6%, while the Preds power play, well, 30th, damn near last in the NHL, only converting 15 times this season on 102 opportunities, 14.7%. Now, the penalty kill for the Preds is 19th, and that is better and more respectable. 77.6% on the kill rate puts them at 19th in the NHL. They've given up 22 power play goals against. The Colorado Avalanche have also given up 22 power play goals against. They're also at 19th. Tied with the Nashville Predators at 77.6%. When it comes to individual statistics, of course, the Colorado Avalanche have plenty of high-skilled individuals, but every team in the NHL does. Let's run down the top 5 scorers for each of these teams. Rantanen with 20 goals already on the season, 17 assists, 37 points. McKinnon has 8 goals and 26 assists, 34 points. Makar 6 and 20 for 26. Lehkonen 8 and 13 for 21. And Taves 2 and 15 for 17. Now, when it comes to the Colorado Avalanche, this forward grouping and the defensemen in this top 5 scorers, they're all players that thrive against this Nashville Predators team, and obviously they did last year in the playoffs in the 4-game sweep of the Nashville Predators, and they have been absolutely able to feast against the Nashville Predators, similar to the way the Edmonton Oilers' top players have been able to in the last couple of years. This is not projecting or predicting to be a very good game for the Nashville Predators against Colorado Avalanche. They just have matchup problems similar to the way they do against the Edmonton Oilers. It just happens to be a scheduling quirk that they're playing 2 teams that they have the same issues against very, very close together right here. Georgiev, 11-6-2 in net for the Colorado Avalanche and 9.18 save percentage, 2.67 goals against average. Really good, solid numbers there for his first year as the starting goaltender of the Colorado Avalanche after being the backup netminder for the New York Rangers for the previous couple of seasons. Taking a look at the Nashville Predators statistics, Forsberg's 9 goals and 16 assists for 25 points. Roman Josi at 6 and 17 for 23. Matt Duchene has 6 goals and 16 assists for 22 points. Mikael Granlund after last night has 4 goals and 15 assists for 19 points. Ryan Johansson's at 8 and 8 for 16, and UC Saros in net maintains a winning record at 9, 8, and 4, has a 9-10 save percentage, which is actually quite good, and a 2.88 goals against average. His numbers overall are improving, and good goaltending right now is the only reason that the Nashville Predators are staying in these games. You look at the finals, you look at the tallies, you look at the totals. When the Nashville Predators have been able to gain a point in these last couple of games in overtime losses, it was simply because UC Saros was able to keep them in this game, and he's putting up some pretty good numbers at this point in time. That gets you all set up for the Nashville Predators against Colorado Avalanche. It's not looking like it's going to be a pretty night for the Nashville Predators, but you don't just lay the rosters down at center ice and declare a winner based on the stats. You got to go out there and play a full full 60 on any given night. Any team can secure a victory, and the Nashville Predators sure could use some type of positive momentum, any type of positive momentum as they're getting set to head here into the Christmas break. Just 4 games to go before heading into the Christmas break. So the Nashville Predators need to break this losing streak, need to find some positive momentum, and need to get things going in the right direction, or else it's going to be a very dark holiday period here in the Nashville area for the Predators fan base. Rebirth Sports, check out their work, rebirthsports.com, or find them on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Very easy to find them, and they're very interactive, very good people, and I certainly love having a partnership with that crew. You see me wearing the Renegades of Puck home jersey right here in the bunker. You see me wearing the road jersey, the third jersey, just last night skating with the Mighty Drunks here in Middle Tennessee in the Middle C Division. Got a chance to pull on the red, white, and blue Rebirth Sports Mighty Drunks jersey. Good looking threads out there at the rink. Got asked multiple times, where did that jersey come from? And I had to tell them, of course, because I love having the conversation. Came from Rebirth Sports. Sure to appreciate them. They take visions, make them reality, and they are certainly not jersey makers. They are hockey tailors. So check out their work, rebirthsports.com. We go all the way back to 12/15 of the year 2022, and John Hines deploys his lines in the following way: Forsberg, Granlund, and Duchesne, Niederreiter, Glass, and Sissons, Smith, Johansson, and Jankowski, Trennan, Parsonen, and Janot. On the defensive side of things, the pairings are Yossi and Gross, Ekholm and Fabro, Gravel and McEwen. UC Saros gets the start in net. Takes a little while before we start seeing some action in this one. We're 3:39 into the first period, and Saros comes up with a save on Asimont, spinning shot from out high. Not really a dangerous shot, but had to make a note of something here in the first 5 minutes of the game. 7:09 into the first period, UC Saros comes up with a save on Scheifele's backhand. 8:43 Saros, a save on Gustafsson. 9:04 Forsberg scores his 9th goal of the season, giving the Nashville Predators a 1-0 lead. It was a sweeping shot from the circle after Duchesne pushes it to Granlund. Granlund sweeps it over to Forsberg. Forsberg sweeps it into the back of the net. It was the first shot on goal for the Nashville Predators in the game. It finds its way to the back of the net. The Preds have a 1-0 lead. We go to 11:31 of the first period, and that's when Hellebuck comes up with a save on Niederreiter. 14-16. Saros comes up with a save on Dubois off of the rush. Yossi and Dubois end up going to the box 2 minutes each. There was a scrum after the whistle. This leads to a 4-on-4, and this 4-on-4 is going to look and sound an awful lot like a Winnipeg Jets power play. Saros comes up with a save on Scheifele, and then Connor hits the post, and then DeMello puts the Winnipeg Jets on the board, tying the game at 1 apiece. His first goal of the season, rebound jam while being taken to the ice by Matt Duchesne. Matt Duchesne was battling hard, just simply could not win the victory against DeMello. You got to give him some stick taps for the determination to put this puck into the net, tying the game up at 1 apiece. We go to 17:05 of the first period, and Janot hits Schmidt in the corner. It should have been a penalty. It was not called a penalty. That's why immediately on the next puck drop, we have Lowry versus Janot. Janot being made to answer, and Janot does answer, but it's not really a penalty when the guy enjoys that aspect and usually plays that element of the game. But still, he answers the call with Lowry, and they're both off the box 5 minutes each. I'll talk about that hit more extensively after the full game recap. But it should have been a penalty, and the Nashville Predators absolutely got away with not being shorthanded right here, possibly for 5 minutes in a major. 18:54, the first period, UC Saros comes up with a save on Pionk, and then we go to the end of the first period. The Winnipeg Jets out shooting Nashville 10-6. We're 4:23 into the second period, another period where it takes a minute to get things going here. Hellebuck save on Duchesne at the back post, and at 8:15, UC Saros comes with a save on Perfetti. And over these several minutes here in between these last two notes, the Jets are just dominating shift after shift, cycle after cycle. They're putting pucks towards the net, and it's starting to cause some difficulties as Nashville Predators are getting worn down with the long change here in the second period, and it's going to continue as we'll see Smith go off to the box, 2 minutes for interference. Saros' best save of the PK situation would come on Lowry. The Preds would survive at 11 minutes into the second period. Johansson's off to the box, 2 minutes for hooking. UC Saros have to come up with a save on Connor two times at close range after the long shot hit Wheeler in the ribs. The puck was laying in the crease area. Connor gets to it first, 2 jams at it. Saros, remarkable reactionary saves in this situation. 14-11 of the second period. Harkins is going off the box. 4 minutes for high sticking. Philip Forsberg's beak looks a whole lot different after getting a big gusher across the top of the bridge. Forsberg would miss a good bit of the 4-minute power play, but then he would come back on the ice just in time to take a 2-minute holding penalty and create a 4-on-4 scenario for the final 21 seconds. The Nashville Predators had 3.5 minutes of the power play, and I didn't write a single note down because they didn't do a single damn thing with that power play. It's simply just a mess out there. UC Saros would have to come up with a save on Scheifele's one-timer during the Winnipeg power play that would follow the Nashville Predators' extended power play. We hit the end of the second period, still tied at 1 apiece because Winnipeg is pouring the shots on net. They now have 29 in this game. Nashville has 14. So Winnipeg with 19 shots on goal here in the second period. UC Saros getting his team through that middle frame. 2:34 into the third period. UC Saros comes with a save on Connor with the blocker. 4:08. Hellebuck comes with a save on Glass after a turnover. 5:25. McEwen off to the box for the Predators. 2 minutes for Puck over the glass. UC Saros has to come up with a save on Connor. Saros has to come up with a save on Dubois as the power play expires. A big scrum after the whistle. Nashville Predators managed to survive another penalty killing situation. 7:47 of the third period. Dubois off to the box. 2 minutes plus other matching minors for roughing. A big scrum right here just after the power play expired for the Winnipeg Jets. We see the Nashville Predators go on the power play. They would generate some good zone time, but yet again, absolutely zero results by the end of it. 10:53 of the third period. Hellebuck comes with a save on Glass after a sick drive to the net. Looked to turn the D inside out. Truly deserved a better result than Hellebuck coming away with the save right here. 11:41 of the third period. Saros comes up with a save on Connor with the kick out of the pad. 12:49. A shot goes off of the players at the side of the crease area. The puck slides through the crease behind UC Saros about 6 inches above the goal line and goes out the other side. UC Saros manages to maintain his composure and not react and put the puck in the net behind him. 17-17 in the third. Hellebuck comes up with a save on Yossi's drive to the net. Roman Josi just makes it look so easy and so smooth out there. And this was one of those opportunities where you thought the captain was going to just take over and put the puck in and end this game right here. 18:05. Saros comes up with a save on Perfetti from the slot. And we hit the end of regulation with Winnipeg having 39 shots on goal. UC Saros only giving up 1. And the Nashville Predators finishing the regulation period with 25 shots on goal. In the overtime session, 1:26 in, Morrissey's breakaway goes off of Saros' glove, then off of the crossbar and out. 3:31 into the overtime session. It's Connor's 12th goal of the season. Puck trickled through the 5-hole and finds its way through UC Saros and into the back of the net. It was the 41st shot on net for the Winnipeg Jets in this game, and UC Saros dives back and almost gets to that puck. UC Saros did all he could. He got his team a point against the Winnipeg Jets. Winnipeg is a very good team. They're competing for first place in the Central. They're a very good team on home ice with a record of now 11-5. And the Nashville Predators with a lack of offense, a deficient offense, whatever word you want to describe, a non-existent offense. What is UC Saros supposed to do out there? He did the best that he could, and he actually put up one hell of a performance, going 39 out of 41 in this game. That's why his season numbers are improving, but the Nashville Predators are sliding in the standings overall. That gets you all caught up on what happened in the most recent game for the Nashville Predators. We call it the Reverse Sports Full Game Recap. That gets you squared away with everything that happened in Winnipeg. Now, time for some analysis and the Renegades of Puck. Strong Style Fitness is a great partner here of the Renegades of Puck, and we love our partners. Strong Style Fitness can be found online, social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Instagram is their preferred method of communication when it comes to social media. StrongStyleFit.com is where you can find the website. 150 workouts by a certified personal trainer, completely free to each and every one of the Renegades of Puck. Just go to YouTube and search Strong Style Fit, and you'll be able to find those, whether it's your first step off the couch, your first workout, or you've been at it for years. Tracy has a workout that is designed and dedicated to each and every one of you out there. She just wants to get you moving and get you motivated and keep you healthy. She has provided all of these workouts on her YouTube channel completely for free. So Renegades of Puck, in a world that has become increasingly more expensive every day, take advantage of an opportunity to have the Renegades of Puck personal trainer at Strong Style Fitness. Great partner here of the show. Pick it up right where I left off there at the end of the full game recap. UC Saros 19 of 19 in the second period alone. In this game, he went 39 out of 41, and he was dynamic. The Winnipeg Jets have some highly skilled offensive players, and they usually play quite well against the Nashville Predators. UC Saros was big against those big-time players. It was quite the divisional game. For such a low-scoring game, it was actually somewhat entertaining to see UC Saros putting up such a performance. And Connor Hellebuck came up with some really good saves in this game. He didn't have nearly the workload or nearly the amount of opportunities to have to stop, especially since the Nashville Predators won the power play so many times. I mean, that's just like taking a break for a goaltender going against. And yes, I'm being that level of petty now about the power play. It is just gotten to that point. But UC Saros, 19 out of 19. He deserves the 6 taps for this game. He got the Nashville Predators a point. The only reason the Nashville Predators got a point in Winnipeg, and who knows, maybe somewhere down the road in this season that point ends up being something very important, and everybody should remember UC Saros is the only one who earned that. I made a note about Philip Forsberg scoring a goal because, he hasn't done that lately. And for a guy who's coming off a 40-goal season, yes, I know at this point, 9 goals in the season, it is underperforming. But frankly, the reason that the number is so low and underperforming has just been this most recent stretch of games, almost not appearing on the score sheet at all in the last 10 games or so. Philip Forsberg gets a goal, always worth noting because there's always the potential for Philip Forsberg to have a breakout stretch of hockey and score a bunch of goals in a short amount of time. That is very, very much like the trend of his career. So hopefully with the 5 shots on goal that went along with this 1 goal and getting his beak busted, he's going to go ahead and get some momentum going in the right direction, get himself all fired up, and find himself scoring a bunch of goals here in the next stretch of hockey for the Nashville Predators, because if not, I don't know who's going to. Glass, we have to talk about Cody Glass in this moment. Cody Glass's most noticeable game as a Nashville Predator. Yes, the whole storyline was there. The broadcast chronicled it well, going back to his hometown, family being in attendance, all his friends being in attendance. Of course, that brings an extra level of motivation, but my sincere hope is that that game is what unlocks, that's what turned the key for Glass to have repeat performances like he did last night. He deserved better by the end of this game. He had the best scoring opportunities for the Nashville Predators in this game. He was dynamic. He took a sick drive right down the middle and took on the entire Winnipeg Jets team, and Hellebuck came up with an incredible save to deny him. He looked good out there. He played good. And for the Nashville Predators, I hope this, just like Forsberg gaining some momentum from this goal, I hope this is the indication that Glass is ready to take that next step forward. It's a great story. He's a good player, and everybody wants this to go in a positive direction. So I hope for Glass this really is a positive building moment, and he's going to move forward and start thriving from here because it was his most noticeable game. Now, he'll have to continue that momentum when his family and his friends are not in attendance and when he's not playing in his hometown. Maybe that was the extra motivator for last night, but he has to find a way to bottle that, take it on the road with him everywhere else in the rink in the NHL, and keep that consistency with him. If he plays with that level of consistency, he'll have a spot on an NHL roster for years and years to come. Now, we have to talk about, the hit. It's going to get a call from the league. It's going to bring a monetary fine without a doubt, and I believe it's going to bring a suspension. It was a clear hit to the head. No, it was not malicious in the intent of raising the elbow or leaving your skates, but it was a hit to the head that left a player injured, and the player left the game. So for Jeannot, he did not get called for a penalty in that game, but I do suspect we will find out a report sometime later today that Jeannot is going to find himself light in the wallet and possibly not playing in at least the next game. That wraps that up for Jeannot. I'm being honest and I'm being critical in the assessment. He got away with one during the game. The Predators should have been shorthanded, and Tanner Jeannot could have possibly been out with a 5-minute major for that hit. The more I look at it, the more I feel confident in that analysis. And the D, got to make a note here. They're surviving. Listen, when you go down the D core, when you go down the list of pairs right now, Yossi is skating with Gross. Ekholm is skating with Fabro, and Gravel and McEwen are the third pair for the Nashville Predators. That's not exactly what it was penned in to be coming out of training camp. 4 Predators defensemen are on IR or out right now of the lineup. You could get Luzon back soon. You could get McDonough back just after that. Carrier and Borowiecki, no idea. But the Nashville Predators defense corps is surviving. Now, how are they surviving? They're doing that mostly on the back of Roman Josi, whose ice time is just skyrocketed in this stretch. Now he's averaging over 25 minutes a game. He's always had quite a few minutes, but now he's putting 4, 5, 6 more minutes per night on the score sheet. And what I have to point out here is not only are the bottom pair doing quite well together, coming up together, playing together, and they're excelling actually, but you really, really have to give it up to Gross. He's fitting in well, and he's playing on the top D pair with the captain Roman Josi. And in this most recent game, 1952 in time on ice, and at no point in time were you throwing your hands up and saying, my God, this guy's not a great defenseman. You barely notice him out there in the defensive end of things because he's fairly solid in his time on ice. On the offensive side of things is where you might notice him the most. He gets the puck, he fires it towards the net, he seems confident, he seems quite confident and ready to do what he needs to do with the puck. He knows where the puck needs to go. It needs to go to the net. So far, Gross is fitting in really well. He's playing really well. For the Nashville Predators, since we've talked so much about their failures to develop, it's nice to be able to point out that perhaps this is an area where the Nashville Predators are developing the system, providing 3 defensemen to come up for the Nashville Predators as a stopgap. And right now, all of them are performing fairly decently. Now, let's go to Sean C. Smith, okay? I've given you quite a bit of thoughts, quite a bit of opinion, quite a bit of analysis right here, but I always like to balance it all out by getting some more of all of that. And I love to do that by going to my first analyst, Sean C. Smith, from A to Z Sports. You can find him on Twitter at SCSNSH. He's the one and only Sean C. Smith, and he's in the trenches right now.
Okay. Thanks, Charlie. Hey, Renegades, it's Sean C. Smith back again, and we're going to talk about what seems to be a recurring trend here that we probably don't want to get too used to is let's talk about this Preds loss to the Winnipeg Jets. First off, I'm just going to say this, and I think it goes without saying, UC Saros is incredible in the net. It's really unfortunate that the overtime goal was scored against him because he'd been just absolutely solid all night long. And to kind of have it come down to a little blooper between the legs, just dribbling past, crossing the line a little bit, man, what a bummer. Because when you look at that game and you see the 2-1 score, even knowing that it happens in overtime, you look at the saves that Saros made, the sheer number of saves, the second highest number of saves made, and you'd think that that would come on a win, but unfortunately it comes on a loss. And let's talk a little bit about that. The Preds are allowing a ton of shots, and worse than that, they're not getting a lot of quality scoring chances. I'm even seeing players taking the puck down into the slot there with space to shoot and passing it back to the blue line, and I'm not really sure what's going on there. But again, the top guys have to be the top guys. This team succeeded last season because of a few factors. UC Saros played absolutely incredible hockey in the goal. Number 2, you had Roman Josi with a lights-out incredible season for a defender. And then, of course, let's talk about the forwards. You had Matt Duchene, best season of his career, best season in Preds history. Philip Forsberg, 1 goal and 1 assist behind him with a personal best for himself, as well as what would be the second best season in Preds history. Tanner Jeannot even had a ton of goals as a rookie. His production's way down to it. And the production for these guys has fallen off a cliff. We're about a third into the season. Philip Forsberg has 9 goals. He's on pace to finish with about 27, coming off of a season where he scored 42. That's not really what you want to see. Roman Josi, I believe, is on pace for about 69 points. When you compare that to last season, it's just not the same. This team succeeded because those guys had incredible seasons and because UC Saros was stopping everything he saw. UC Saros is stopping everything he sees, but you've got a lot of guys who aren't just not having incredible seasons, but they're not even playing to their average. And that's the problem that the Predators are facing right now. As long as that continues until something changes in that area, guys start producing some offense, I expect a lot of the same results. And if Saros gets on a less than hot streak, or if Lankinen comes in his relief and isn't on point like he's been as well, then it's going to be pretty rocky. And that's all I can really say. Charlie, not a great night for the Nashville Predators, even though UC Saros had a great one himself. Hopefully things are going to turn around a little bit, or it's looking pretty bleak. That's all I got. Back to you.
Stripe Digital Solutions is another great partner of the Renegades of Puck, and I sure do appreciate everything Stripe Digital Solutions does for us here in the trenches. Check out their work, stripedigitalsolutions.com, or online, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You see the crest that is on the jersey right here. You see the logo on the wall behind me. The website, renegadesofpuck.com. Our social media and brand building plan, all of that is managed by and through Stripe Digital Solutions. We could not succeed on any level in the current world world, the way it functions without a strong digital partner, and Stripe Digital Solutions is the strongest digital partner. I urge and encourage each and every one of you to reach out to Brandy and start the conversation today. I think that my website is fantastic. My logos, my graphics, I think everything is wonderful. And that is because I have visions and ideas, and then they are whittled down by Stripe Digital Solutions into something that actually is coherent and makes sense on the screen. They do incredible work, and I encourage each and every one of you, check out Stripe Digital Solutions today. Taking a look inside the box score, taking a look at the numbers. Philip Forsberg, the only goal for the Nashville Predators in this game. It is a deficient offense. It is whatever word you want to use for it. 2.46 goals per game, 29th in the NHL. But Philip Forsberg does manage to score one goal in this game. The Nashville Predators do manage to secure 1 point in the standings thanks to that goal. Matt Duchene has an assist. Mikhail Granlund has an assist. Those three on that line all teamed up, obviously, on that first goal. There's not a lot in the box score to talk about, but I got to give you the numbers. Shots on goal, Philip Forsberg did lead the team with 5. Again, hopefully this is a sign of positive momentum. He also had 2 hits in this game. When it comes to blocked shots, Matthias Ekholm led the team with 4 blocked shots. Dante Fabro had 3. Roman Josi also had 3. Those were your team leaders. No other player with more than 1 block shot in this game. When it comes to hits, Tanner Jeannot led the team with 4. One of those we have confirmed to be dirty, and we do think will be a suspendable offense. But we'll wait to hear from the league on that. But that wraps up the hits category. Ekholm had 3. Several players with 2. Trennan actually did have 3 in this game. Mikhail Granlund led the forwards in time on ice. Not much of a surprise right there. 18-16 in total time on ice. 340 in power play time on ice. None of that effective. Roman Josi leads the team in total time on ice, 27-43, as he customarily does, but never as much as he has this last stretch with so many defensemen being out of the lineup. And UC Saros goes 39 out of 41, and you can see that those early season troubles are been put behind UC Saros, and now if he could just get some offense in front of him, perhaps the Nashville Predators could be winning more of these games. But UC Saros is not the problem right now. He's playing incredibly good hockey. 19 saves in the second period against the Winnipeg Jets is simply an incredible 20 minutes of hockey, and I'm really surprised that Winnipeg didn't end up getting more shots on goal the way they were just really starting to take over there towards the later stages of this game, especially the second half of the game. The final 30 minutes, the Nashville Predators were just under siege, and frankly, they were lucky to get out of there to the point, and UC Saros is the single reason that they got out of there with that point. That's going to do it for the box score. It's going to do it for the stats. Brian Baston from ontheforecheck.com. He'll be back in the trenches soon. He's got the charts you need to know, numbers you need to see, and I can't wait to see his face back here on Renegades of Puck TV. I'm Crazy Charlie Saunier, captain of the Renegades of Puck. I'm also tired of the cold, tired of the dark, and tired of being landlocked. I'm also willing to bet that I'm not the only one who could use some sun, fun, and time in paradise with friends. That's exactly why I called our great friend Pete Weber. He told me, call Ships and Trips Travel, and now we're all going to Mexico. That's right, Renegades of Puck, July 15th to the 20th of 2023. Dreams Vallarta Resort in Puerto Vallarta is the destination to hang with Pete Weber in paradise. To join Pete and the Renegades of Puck in Puerto Vallarta, go to www.shipsandtripstravel.com. That's shipsandtripstravel.com, and just click on the ROP on vacation tab. Don't stay landlocked. Join the Renegades of Puck in paradise, July 15th to the 20th, 2023 in Puerto Vallarta. Pete Weber, the Renegades of Puck, and you. It's time to ditch those skates for flip-flops and fun in the sun. For the Nashville Predators, it's very simple. 2 out of 10 points in the last 5 games, a 5-game losing streak overall. And you can see at the end of the game last night when the Nashville Predators fell in overtime, that puck trickling over the line, you can see the dejected looks on the players' faces. You can see the heads sink. You can see the demeanors immediately change. The Nashville Predators desperately wanted to break that losing streak, and now getting very close to Christmas and the Christmas break, something that doesn't happen very often for this Nashville Predators team, but they are quietly and quickly sliding out of relevance and competitiveness. Now, for the Central Division, the Nashville Predators now find themselves in 6th place. They're competing with Arizona and Chicago in the bottom 3 teams of the Central Division, while Dallas, Winnipeg, Minnesota, Colorado are all starting to pull away from the Nashville Predators. The St. Louis Blues have been middle of the road all season long, but even the St. Louis Blues have managed to now right the ship and are starting to move in the right direction. The Nashville Predators are sliding lower and lower in the standings, now currently in 6th place, and it's not even Christmas yet. There's a lot of hockey to be played, so that means there's time to turn it around. That could come via trade, that could come via change. Are those changes going to be behind the bench? Are they going to be behind the desk in the GM's office? Nobody is certain, and this Nashville Predators team and franchise has always been very slow to react. They have fired a coach midseason before. It was Peter Laviolette. That's how John Hines ended up as the interim head coach and ultimately ended up in his current position as the Nashville Predators head coach. For the Nashville Predators, they have to get things turned around. They have to get some momentum going in the right direction. Colorado, Edmonton, these are very difficult teams. Dallas, all coming up in the next stretch of hockey for this Nashville Predators team. If you can't score, you can't win. So for the Nashville Predators, they have to figure out what changes need to be made, or else it's going to be an incredibly long season where the Nashville Predators find themselves in a round robin for the bottom of the Central Division. Sliding out of relevance by Christmas is not something this fan base is used to, accustomed to, nor are they going to accept. We'll be here covering each and every minute of it, regardless of the outcome. Covering a team that loses on an often basis is never an enjoyable thing, but I have done it before, and I will continue doing it moving forward. We sure do appreciate each and every one of you jumping in the trenches. The Nashville Predators, they got to find a way to turn some momentum around, but we're going to keep the momentum going right here from the bunker and in the trenches for Sean C. Smith and each and every one of the Renegades of Puck. We sure do appreciate each and every one of you. We sure hope you'll follow us on social media, and thanks Full Press Podcast, Full Press Predators, and the Full Press NHL Network. Thanks to you guys, more Renegades than ever are hearing the show. So we sure do appreciate each and every one of you. I'm your host and Captain Crazy Charlie Saunier. Stick taps, love, and respect.